growing number of GOP members announcing that they will not run for election this year, or in some cases switching parties, which means Republicans are now being forced to defend districts that normally wouldn't even be competitive and spend money on those districts that they hadn't planned on spending. This is often how the first signs of a wave begin and how Democrats build momentum ahead of November. Joining me now is the Democratic Congressman Chris Pappas of New Hampshire. He's running for the United States Senate seat in November in a race that could determine control of the Senate. Congressman Pappas, good to see you.
Good to be on with you, Ali. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about, there was a congressional study that came out. The Democrats on the Joint Economic Committee released a study today showing that the tariffs will cost Americans an average of $2,512 in 2026. That's up from the $1,745 in 2025. I would imagine for people in New Hampshire or Maine or Vermont or Washington State or Michigan, that number's higher because your reliance on trade is greater than some states.
People are feeling it here, and they're feeling it across the board. And we know that it's been about $1,800 just last year in terms of the extra costs that families are paying as a result of Donald Trump's reckless tariffs. That's on everything from the energy you need to heat your home, to the groceries that you're picking up at the supermarket, to the building materials we need to build out more affordable housing in New Hampshire. Everything is going up. It's impacting the quality of life and the affordability of our communities. And so I'm hearing it not just from Democrats. I'm hearing it from Republican business owners. I'm hearing it from folks who own manufacturing businesses that are employing American workers that are now not filling positions, not buying that extra piece of equipment, and face a very uncertain economic future as a result of what Donald Trump has done. So people are feeling this. And it's reckless. It's economic malpractice. The Supreme Court decision was positive, but we know Donald Trump continues to double down on this. That's why I've worked to introduce legislation that would exempt small businesses, our Main Street businesses that drive our economy, and give refunds so that people can see some immediate relief. But we've yet to find Republicans wanting to work with Democrats in a meaningful way to challenge this administration. We got to keep working.
Jen Psaki was talking to Bobby Polito, who won his primary in Texas, and he's looking for a congressional seat. And he was saying that, even tourism is down in a place like Texas. I'm sure you're feeling it in New Hampshire.
We are. And Ali, we love Canadians in New Hampshire, as you know. We've got a good, close relationship with Canada. We rely on those tourists who come across the border to visit our lakes and mountains and our beaches, to spend money at our inns and hotels and restaurants. And border traffic was down about 50% in terms of the Canadian visitors that aren't showing up in the same numbers in New Hampshire through the summer season and into the winter season. And so that is having an impact on our economy here. Tourism is one of the biggest sectors in New Hampshire. And so this is collateral damage from Donald Trump's reckless trade war with what should be our closest trading partner and our closest ally, Canada. People here just don't get it. It makes no sense. We got to figure out how we can overcome and get around this. And ultimately, we need some political will in Congress to do it. And if Republicans won't work with us, then they need to be repudiated at the polls as a result for them giving away their agency to Donald Trump.
And we're seeing demonstration of that with these 28 special elections that Democrats have flipped. Tell me about the impact of this war that nobody seems to understand, but that is also going to cost us more because the national average for price of a gallon of gas is $3.63 now. That's a 22% increase, but oil's up 40%. So gas prices are most likely only going higher.
The president hasn't leveled with the American people. He didn't present plans to the American people about what his intentions were, what the threats were, and how our military could be used to make America safer. He hasn't leveled with Congress and cut us in on the deal in terms of the deliberations that should be happening in advance of a war like this to make sure that we are speaking out on behalf of our constituents and that the American people have a voice in this process. So people are deeply concerned with the use of military force in this case, and it is raising costs for folks in real time. I mean, we're seeing prices at the pump that have escalated 20-30% across the country. That could even spike higher. We're seeing prices now in the mid-3s to $4 a gallon for gas. That not only impacts people who are filling up their cars, but it impacts the cost of groceries, and it has a ripple effect across our economy. Yep. And so the way that things have sort of been shocked on the global energy markets is coming home to roost for working families here in a place like New Hampshire. People are dealing with high costs across the board. The president considers affordability to be a hoax. He thinks that, housing is not an issue that deserves his focus. His focus is anywhere but the things that people care about. And so that's why I think you see voters turning out in these special elections and voting for change. They know that the administration is not listening. They're ignoring their core concerns. So they want to try something different.
Congressman, good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. The New Hampshire Congressman Chris Pappas is a candidate for Senate. Thank you. Tonight's Last Word is next.